Hello, I am Mario 8th and welcome to Super Mario Bros. In Review, the show where I will be reviewing all 18 Super Mario Bros. Platformers and ranking them to find the ultimate Super Mario Bros. Game. You can find all the previous and future videos in the playlist linked in the description, but first, this week we will be visiting Super Mario World, the best Mario game ever. Wait, forget I said that. I mean, Super Mario World, originally released for the Super Famicom in 1990, was released a year later for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in the States, and another year later for PAL regions. And much like Mario 3, it went on to become widely acclaimed, receiving praises such as Greatest Game of All Time, and the Best-Selling SNES Game. Being a pack-in for the Super Nintendo though, that last one's a bit of a cheat. Regardless, the game came out to nearly unanimous praise, with Miyamoto himself even citing it as his personal favorite. But a war rages on within the community whether Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 3 is truly the best 2D platformer. Today I will end this war once and for all. Super Mario World was developed alongside the Super Famicom, making the development a hurdle for the dev team. The game was directed by Takashi Tezuka, produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, with the soundtrack once again by the absolute legend Koji Kondo. While Tezuka was the director, the game was still largely a child of Miyamoto. During development, the team wanted to create something that felt truly new. Even after porting Mario 3 to the SNES, they still felt more changes needed to be made to feel next-gen. This led to much more expansive levels, an overworld map with branching paths, and the addition of Yoshi, Mario's dinosaur friend that Miyamoto wanted since the original. Now, I haven't been hiding my bias too well, but I have an extensive history with Mario World. It was the first video game I ever played. On my dad's old SNES he never touched, my brother and I played the game over and over and over, and to this day I still play it at least once a year. I've bought this game on the Wii, on the Wii U, on the new Nintendo 3DS XL, on the Game Boy Advance, on the Super Nintendo Mini, and I've played it on the Nintendo Switch Online. But don't worry, I will do my best to cast aside my nostalgia and rank this game accordingly. Right. Super Mario World is the direct sequel to Super Mario Bros. 3, both in development and narrative. The game takes place after Mario and or Luigi have defeated Bowser and rescued Princess Toadstool. Tired from the adventure, the trio travel to Dinosaur Land for a nice vacation. As it turns out, Bowser crash-landed on that very same island and scooped up the princess as soon as the brothers turned their back. Now it's up to Mario, Luigi, and their newfound friend Yoshi to travel the islands, rescue Yoshi's friends, and save the princess. Once all 7 trapped Yoshis are in hand, the brothers defeat the evil King Koopa, and Mario, Luigi, Toadstool, and all the Yoshis all have a nice vacation. And the gameplay, oh the gameplay. While Mario 3 made great improvements to the physics engine, Mario World perfected it. From the speed it takes to start running, to jumping off multiple enemies in a row, everything controls exactly how I want it to control. Mario's moveset has also been updated. He now has a spin jump that allows him to bounce off hazards that would usually hurt, and to break through certain blocks. It of course helps that every level is wonderfully designed. The improved processing of the new console allowed for much larger levels than before, with most of them now including a halfway checkpoint. The levels also now focus on both horizontal and vertical levels, with multiple exits hidden in every red colored level and most ghost houses. These exits can lead to different paths, Star World entrances, and sometimes back to the level just completed, making Mario need to find the correct exit to actually progress. Throughout each world, every level is harder than the one prior. The game has just as good a difficulty curve as its predecessor, although the main game never gets as hard as Mario 3. Luckily, the inclusion of 2 bonus worlds with much more difficult levels gives those who want a good challenge a great offering. Level design has never been better. Mario World continues in the Mario 3 design ethos of coming up with a bunch of cool ideas, then using them each as little as possible. And these ideas are spread throughout the entire runtime, with only the hardest ones returning for the extra post-game worlds. I really loved the puzzle levels, like the ghost houses and everywhere in the Forest of Illusion. Any level with a secret was so fun to scour each corner until it was found, and being rewarded with one of the colored buttons was so exciting. Knowing blocks of that color will appear in many other levels in the game. There were also some good auto-scrolling levels, or at least ones that were so hard they imprinted themselves upon my at-the-time child mind. And I can't stress enough that the Star Road and Special Zone levels are the toppest of tiers. And Tubular isn't even that hard, just get good. As an added challenge, there are usually 5 dragon coins in each level. Sometimes tricky platforming needs to be performed for Mario to get each, and collecting all 5 grants Mario an extra guy. Once all have been collected in a level, they don't reappear. These are totally and completely optional, they're not tracked anywhere, and if the game is quit and restarted, they all respawn. That being said, it's a really fun challenge every time I play to try and get them all, even though I've never actually achieved it. Within each level are 2 gates. The midway gate acts as a mushroom if Mario is small and becomes a checkpoint if he ever dies, and each level culminates with the giant gate. In each gate there is a tape moving up and down where if touched grants some points. After Mario collects 100, he's taken to a little match minigame that nets extra 1-ups if done well. Aside from the gates, some levels also have keys and keyholes. Mario finding the key and putting it into the hole unlocks the secret exit. When a level is beaten, whether it's the intended path or a secret exit, the world map changes in response. A path grows from the beaten level to the next, building bridges when necessary, sometimes lowering or raising cliffs and obliterating castles when possible. Then, sometimes if Mario walks, something on the map will respond, like how a Cheep Cheep jumps out when walking over a bridge. The way the map reacts and evolves to what Mario has done really makes Dinosaur Island feel like a place. One knock against Mario World would be the item variation. Gone are the Raccoon, Tanuki, Frog, and Hammer suits, replaced with the new item, the Cape Feather. And while the cape is truly an amazing item, it is a little too overpowered. Holding down B allows Mario to slowly descend, making platforming significantly easier. Also, a skilled enough player can use the cape to fly over an entire level, negating any real challenge. So the item is a little overpowered, yeah, but it is also really fun to use. Spinning into an enemy brazen enough to cross Mario's path is always satisfying. Fire flowers also make enemies drop coins now, too. Yoshi comes with his own moveset, being able to gobble up most enemies, fly with the blue shells, stomp with a yellow, or spit out fireballs, yum, when he eats a red shell. He's also immune to any ground hazards, pits and lava excluded, and just obliterates any enemy that gets under his feet. Additionally, Star Road introduces colored Yoshis. These get powers based on their color regardless of the shell they ate. So a red Yoshi will always spit fireballs, a yellow will always stomp, and most useful, a blue can fly with any colored Koopa shell. Speaking of enemies, there are so many. Koopas and Goombas and Boos all make their return with a bunch of new classics like Blarg, Charge and Chuck, and who could forget everyone's favorite, the amazing Flying Hammer Brother! He has only ever appeared in this game. And even within the regular enemies, they each get their own variations. Koopas can now fly with capes, kick their shells, hop around, or fly with wings. Bob-ombs and Goombas can parachute out of the sky. Charge and Chucks can run, throw baseballs, kick footballs, dig up rocks, jump up and clone themselves, and then run some more. There are so many types and iterations, it's so exciting to see what type comes next. The other big knock against the game would be boss variation, or lack thereof. The 7 Koopalings make a return, but there are only 4 types of battle. 3 of them repeat. Additionally, there's Reznors in each of the 4 fortresses, each has fought the exact same, knocked them out from underneath. There's a pretty simple Big Boo fight, and then the Big Bad Bowser himself, both of which involve throwing things up at the boss. Each of the castle levels are unique and great, but the bosses that meet Mario at the end can feel a bit lackluster. And finally, aesthetically, the game almost couldn't be better. Koji Kondo knocked it out of the park with the soundtrack. Every track is an absolute banger. Every world theme perfectly matches the area, and the level themes never get old. I truly love the steel drum ragtime that permeates every song. Plus, the credits theme might be one of my most favorites from the series. The graphics keep up on every level. Despite later SNES games like Donkey Kong Country or Yoshi's Island looking prettier, this game still looks great. A good art style is never to be messed with. Okay, I think I've talked enough about Super Mario World. It is a truly amazing game. Every level is fun, the enemies are interesting, the world map is just so fun to explore, but it's a bit easy at times. Although that might also be because I've played every level numerous times at this point. Literally every year. And I don't have to even think about the ranking for this bad boy. 3 is great, but World improves every aspect. My new ranking is 6. Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels, 5. Super Mario Land, 4. Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, 3. Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, 1. Super Mario World. And now we move on to the final traditional 2D Mario game, and the last of these games that I will be playing for the first time. Up next is Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe leave a rating or a sub to be notified of more. While you're down there, you can check the description for all of my socials where I'm at Mario8th everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, and you can see what games I'm playing on ggApp.io. Also in the description is the playlist that every Mario in Review video will eventually be in. And if you'd like, let me know what your personal Mario ranking is in the comment section. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.